Welcome to the Diary of a Christian Single Woman, where you hear her innermost thoughts and prayers while also hearing the Lord's response in return. Sit back and relax, grab your journal and pen, pour you a cup of coffee or tea, and go on this journey to self-discovery and growth in the Lord. It's time to write. Dear Lord, wow! Seeing all of the men in the Word that have great attributes that I should be looking for in a spouse was definitely eye-opening. Thank you for pointing that out to me and giving me a different perspective on what I should see. Speaking of which, I guess my next question to that would be, how would I know that this is it? How will I know that the man who has presented himself to me that has these various characteristics is actually the one for me? I mean, like we say in the church world, everything that's good isn't necessarily God. So if that's the case, and I know it is, how will I know that this good guy that is pursuing me is really from you? One of my biggest fears is getting it wrong and picking the wrong person. My ultimate desire is to only be married one time, God. One time. So in the interest of doing that, I am taking my time, reading your word, and assessing the men that come my way. I can usually tell right off the bat if someone is a no because they make that known very quickly. However, when a good guy comes along, that's when I start to wonder, is this it? Or is this a counterfeit? Do I just trust my gut because I haven't really received too many red flags? Are you going to crack the sky and say with a loud voice, "My daughter, this is your husband, marry him"? Will other people recognize him for me and convince me that he's the one? Will I know by osmosis? I mean, God, how am I supposed to know? I love you, your daughter. Dear daughter, it is always a joy to talk and commune with you. It is always my ultimate desire to answer you. I say in my word that when you call upon me, I will answer you and show you things you do not know. In this instance, you do not know when the man pursuing you is the one. I think I can answer that for you. Here are a few thought-provoking ways in which you may determine if he is someone that you should continue to get to know. Number 1, peace. My word says in John 14:7, that peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Let not your heart be troubled. In this situation, you will feel my peace about the man pursuing you. Your heart being troubled is the red flags that you feel in your spirit when it checks you. Pay attention to those as you don't want to be led astray by the wrong man. However, when you feel a strong sense of peace about him, you'll feel calm. He will feel like a safe place for you to run to, the same as you do with me. You will recognize that because you will recognize me in the place of peace. Next, clarity. You will not have to second guess his intentions with you. He will make it known from the beginning who he is and what he sees for the both of you. Psalms 37:7 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Therefore, I ordered his steps to find you and placed you in his path. Now it is up to him to pursue the path, but he will not be double-minded. He will be confident in himself, and you will have no questions about what he's here for." Number 3, direction. He has a direction, vision, and goals for his life, and he sees you in it. He'll start to include words like us and we when referring to future plans. He will find ways, even in the courtship process, to include your opinions in his everyday affairs. Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. As this man follows me while working in his plans, I continue to establish his steps, but he doesn't want to take them without you. Now he will if he has to because he follows me, but he prefers to have you with him, and he will make that obvious to you. Next, he will have focus. Proverbs 4:17 says, "Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil." My daughter, this man's focus will be solely on you. As you walk together, he will not take his eyes off of you by looking to other women on his right and left. He will not put himself in a position to be swayed by what looks tempting when he knows that he has my precious daughter in front of him. He knows that temptation is nothing but temporary gratification, but you are more precious than rubies and will be a permanent, positive addition to his life. Next up, surety. Surety in my word means one who becomes responsible for another. Genesis 26:9a says, "Behold, of a surety, she is thy wife." The man from me that pursues you will start to feel responsible for you even before a ring is on your finger. He will show how much you mean to him. He will care for your well-being, listen to you, and help try to solve your problems. Because he knows who you are to him, maybe before you even know, he will make sure that you know where you stand in his life. And lastly, personal, influential persons. Proverbs 19:20 says, "Listen to advice and accept instruction, that you may gain wisdom in the future." This man should have elders in his life from whom he receives wisdom and guidance, especially with a lifelong decision such as marriage, as should you, my daughter. In knowing if he is from me, people that are influential in your life, and prayerfully they can hear from me, will more than likely be able to see from the outside your connection and purpose for being together. When you are in it, it can be harder to discern if this individual is not the one. However, when you have people that you know and trust observing you together, then you should be able to receive what they say in regards to him and your relationship. Please remember that they are only looking out for your well-being. However, you still have discernment and can hear from me, so don't forget to keep me in the midst. I pray this gives you more clarity on how you start to recognize the man that is for you. Every good guy that comes is not the one. However, in paying attention to these attributes and the check in your spirit, I trust that you will make the right decision. I can't make it for you. You know the free will I gave you. So I place the person in your path, and it is up to you to confirm or deny. I love you, my daughter. God. Hey, ladies. So I definitely get asking God the question, how will I know? I understand the sentiment of not wanting to get it wrong, because I feel the same way. I do not want to get it wrong. However, one of the things that we have to remember is that we can't operate in fear or in what ifs. What if he hurts me? What if I put my all into this and he's not it? What if everything goes right? Am I even ready for a serious relationship? These are all questions that we've asked ourselves at one time or another. And the one answer that rings in my spirit is to do it scared. God gave the list of things we should be looking for, so it should be a little easier for us at this point. So sis, we already feel like there's a shortage of good godly men out there, right? So then we need to make sure that we take the time on the front end before getting in a relationship so that you will know what to do if this is what you want to do with this particular man. The foundation of a great relationship is friendship anyway. So the best thing that you can do is pray about him, seek God's face regarding the situation, and then become friends with him, whoever it is that comes your way. In this society, it's easy to say, I like you, you like me, we go together. And then it all ends up twisted and broken up in the end because you didn't slow down and take the time to really get to know the person. So keep your emotions and feelings intact so that you can make the best decision for you. What I'm essentially saying is, take the pressure off of you to figure it all out right now. Enjoy the moment of getting to know someone new. Go out on dates, talk on the phone, video chat, text. That's pretty much all we can do anyway right now with the coronavirus out here. So whatever you need to do to communicate, do that, but enjoy it. God will make it known when it's time. And I would always think to myself that the men, who are a no, they make it known swiftly by what they say or how they act. If a good one comes your way, don't speed into it unless you truly feel that God's leading you to do that, but make an honest and prayerful decision. Assess where you are when it comes to relationship as well during this process. Do you really desire one? What is your personal timeline for moving things forward in a courtship, and what are you willing or not willing to tolerate? As you continue to learn yourself and him, then you would be able to better discern, is this someone worthwhile to continue this process with? And then those earlier attributes will kick in. That's when you'll start to notice those things that God mentioned, in those men from the Bible. Do they have these particular characteristics? Now, will you never get hurt? No, but you could easily lose out on someone great because of the fear of moving forward. So sis, you got this. You have a man pursuing you? Take your time and be prayerful, but go for it, because you never know how God will bless and multiply your union if you don't take the chance. Thank you for listening to the Confessions of a Christian Single Woman podcast. Remember, ladies, that God loves you immensely. There are no boundaries or restrictions to his love. Always seek his face, hear his voice, and live his word out loud. If you have any questions that you would like to hear addressed on this podcast, or if you would like to submit a journal entry, you can email us at diary@confessionsofaChristiansinglewoman.com. Until next time, may the peace of the Lord go with you this week.